Hello, my name is D-Dog.
And my name is Jimmy Pickles.
Welcome
Welcome to
to
the
the
D-Dog
D-Dog Pickleball
Pickleball Podcast.
Podcast. Real quick, everyone, be sure to check out Pickleballer United on Instagram, Facebook, and on their website, pickleballerunited.printify.me. They have some of the best gear in the game, hats, shirts, clothing, and are constantly coming up with new and innovative apparel. All right, let's do it. As you can see, there's no gym today. I have two of my very good pickleball buddies here. You guys want to intro yourselves or?
Sure. Hey, Dawson, thank you for having us. My name is Jess. I'm a 4-5 level pickleball player from Connecticut. I play in women's doubles with my partner, Crystal, who is also here. I first discovered my passion for pickleball when my college tennis career was cut short during the pandemic. And I started playing competitively, meaning in tournaments, in January of 2023. So coming up on about a year now. I am a Selkirk advocate, go Selkirk fam. I am also a brand ambassador for Jigsaw Health and Camp Pickleball.
And I'm Crystal. I'm Jess's women's doubles partner for the 4.5 level. I started playing just recreationally in May of 2022 and then started playing in tournaments shortly after that. Found Jess about a year ago. We've been sticking together ever since then. I'm a brand ambassador also for Jigsaw Health and Camp Pickleball, and Paddle Tech is my main paddle brand.
I love it. Wait, when did you start like actually playing pickleball, Jess? I'm just realizing now that like I feel like I've only known you for like a little under a year. So,
Yeah, I really haven't been playing competitively for all that long, but when I couldn't play tennis in college anymore, one day my friend happened to invite me over, and she told me that her uncle was here from Georgia and he wanted to teach us how to play pickleball. I had no idea what that was. I knew it involved a paddle, and that was about it. So I showed up at her house with my mom, actually, and some of our other friends, and that's where I learned how to play. And it was a ton of fun, but I didn't know about team reach and open play in the area until a little farther down the road. So I just kind of played for fun every once in a while, with some of my friends from volleyball, actually. And once I started realizing that tournaments were becoming popular, I hopped on that too.
I love it. I love it. So, especially Crystal. I feel like I've played against you or with you for like a few years now.
Yeah, I think I played
So,
against you in my very first tournament at the Nutmeg at
yeah,
Rocky
that
Hill.
sounds right. Because I think it was like my second or third. That was almost 3 years ago now. That's crazy. So yeah. All right. Well, you guys are being modest too. You guys are one of the top women's teams in the Connecticut area as well. Just to let our viewers know that. They're not gonna
Yeah.
say it, but I will say it gladly for them. Um, yeah. So all right, let's dive into it. I know that actually, real quick while we're at it, why Selkirk, Jess, and why Paddle Tech, Crystal? I'm curious.
I went with Selkirk because of the Halo. Before that, I loved Paddle Tech because watching pro pickleball, I loved Annalie Waters and she used Paddle Tech. So my first real paddle, I guess, was Annalie Waters' original paddle. And then from there, I tried Yola, the Hyperion, and that was a fantastic paddle, but I just kept hearing that it would wear out quickly, the surface of the paddle. And for a paddle that expensive, I couldn't afford to be playing with that paddle full time. So I did some research and I tried out the Halo from Selkirk, which was a cheaper paddle than the Hyperion Yola, but it had a similar surface and it just fit well with my game, I think, with topspin and backhand flicks and whatnot. So I stuck with that paddle and I haven't found a better one. So Selkirk all the way.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, similar story. I started off with the Tempest Wave for paddle tech because when I got one of my first lessons from Toby Newbig, she was a paddle tech brand ambassador and she had me try a bunch of paddles and I just stuck with the Tempest Wave. It was like the cheapest option. I was like, let me just get this for now, see if I like it and get into pickleball. And then I started playing in tournaments. And then I had the paddle for like a year, it lasted, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing with it a lot. It's kind of dead. I need something new. And then all last summer, I just tried like everyone's paddles. I tried the Selkirk, the Eula, anything that anyone would let me play with. And I still liked my paddle tech. I don't know, I was just loyal to it. And then I tried the Bantam, and now I have the new Annalie Waters paddle that she has.
That's a sick looking paddle, by the way. I love the design on that.
Yeah, that
I
thing looks sick.
know.
Isn't it like really thin too? Like 12.5 millimeter, something
Yeah,
like
there's a
that.
12 millimeter and a 14 millimeter.
That thing's gonna hit hard with the way that you play.
Yeah, I'm
I just see that
excited.
backhand like two-handed counter just like flying through my chest. That thing's gonna friggin' hurt. Like, oh, that's funny. I guess I'll dive into it quick. I actually used to play a paddle tech as well. Fun fact. So I used to be a paddle tech ambassador too,
What?
way long ago, like the very beginning of 2020. And so, even like 2019, a little bit of it, I was playing it. But I played the Phoenix Genesis. I still have it. Then I switched to the Bantam Saber Pro because at the time it was one of like three paddles that actually had a long enough handle where you weren't
hmm
choking up into the face to hit a two-handed backhand.
hmm
And I played that pretty much until the point that I think it was well beyond dead and I just didn't even know it. But I would go to these tournaments and I would watch all these people with the Yola Hyperion spinning the ball like a tennis ball by me. And I was like, all right, like it's time. And so that's just a little bit of it. I was about to say my paddle journey has been a journey. I'm
Yeah.
not
How
gonna
many
get
paddles
into
have you
all of it.
used
I
to
have
date?
hit now I've definitely hit over 40. Um
Jeez.
in terms of like using like owning and playing, let me see here. Between like 5 and 7. I have a staple one that I used for the majority of last year since it came out in like the spring, early summer. And then I have a Kevlar one right now that I've been testing and messing around with that I've been really liking. And yeah, and so it's tricky though. Like the material hasn't been like in pickleball all that long, and so I'm still like getting used to it. Like I'll go and I'll play and like my drop will be like this much higher than normal sometimes, and then sometimes it'll be like right where I want it. And I can't tell if it's just the material or it's the paddle or it's the day, but I don't have as much variance with like the carbon fiber. So definitely hits hard though. Like,
hmm
and so yeah. And then I was messing around with some Selkirk Luxes for a while too. Those are fun.
Oh, they are. I
They're
do like the Lux
beautiful too. They're beautiful. Like
and
the
that design. I
colors.
wanted to get it just for the design alone. Then I tried it. I was like, wow, this is great, but not quite as good as my Halo. So
Yeah, I was
haven't
about to
switched.
say you guys like thinner usually. So I don't know if the Lux is like as thick as you can get. So that's like what I like though. I like a really thick paddle. So, but yeah. So I agree that the Lux is just like there was something about it. I couldn't fully switch to it. Like So it is a good paddle though. I do like it. All right. Well, Crystal, I know you have some research and things you've been working on that you'd like to chat about. So let's dive into that.
Yeah, so a little bit of background. I'm a student at the University of Hartford, and for our senior year, we had to come up with our own research for the honors program. So I decided to choose my passion in pickleball, and I kind of geared towards figuring out what are the most common injuries, if people warm up, and then also why pickleball is such a popular sport. Why is it the fastest growing sport in America? And just going to like all the courts and seeing a bunch of people just getting injured on a daily basis. I just really wanted to dive into that part of it, especially being a physical therapy major. So hopefully I could use the research that I analyze and then be able to provide something once I graduate to the pickleball world with some injury prevention tips and recovery. And I know ever since Jess and I started playing together, we've been trying to make sure that we warm up before we even touch the paddle. We just do a dynamic stretch, maybe 5-10 minutes, something quick, get us moving. And then we'll pick up our paddles and then do a whole drill, trying to get into all of the shots, warming up all of the shots, not just dinking, doing our drops, doing our serves, all of that before we even start. And knock on wood, but we haven't gotten injured yet. And so I sent out a pickleball survey over the summer for a few months for people to fill out, and we got over 1,011 responses. And yeah, it was a huge hit. So all last semester we were analyzing the data, and then the next semester we'll finish analyzing it, hopefully maybe get it published, and I have to present about it. So yeah, I could tell you guys some of like the findings so far of what we got.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
I'll just say real quick, it's funny you mentioned the dynamic warm up because I'm a big advocate of it. I'll do it even if like I don't do it there, I'll do it before I drive there if it's like a short to medium drive and all that. And I've advocated that a lot with several other like different people that I've played with that'll just show up and play and I'm like, it's not gonna end well, like
yeah,
long
I know.
term. And so I will say for like myself real quick, I will admit it is kind of hard to stretch when I'll get back late in the evening from some of these. So I'll usually do it the next morning sometimes, but it's also not the greatest because of the lactic acid buildup. But very big on
Yeah.
the PT and recovery side of things. So it's definitely interesting information to hear.
Yeah, because you see like every other sport like soccer, basketball, they all like dynamic stretch before they even touch the ball, and then we'll go in and do their warm up for like a half an hour before a game starts. And then pickleball, you just show up to the courts and some people don't even dink, they just start playing, and I'm like, oh God, no, no.
And they're
It really
like
makes you wonder.
30 to
Sorry,
40
Dawson.
years older. No, you're good. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
It
Yeah.
really makes you wonder why dynamic stretching before pickleball isn't the norm. If it is for all these other sports like soccer and tennis and volleyball, people like will show up to the courts and like Crystal was saying, people hop right on and start playing. And the few of us that do dynamic stretch, people are kind of looking over like, huh, what are they doing? Why are they stretching? What are these strange movements that they're doing? Especially like our calf stretches when we're walking down the court and bringing our arms down our calves. People are like, what
Hmm.
is that? But I think that what Crystal's doing with her research is fantastic for the pickleball world, especially for the older crowd. And I think that it should definitely be the norm that people dynamic stretch before play and static stretch after. It's only going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, you don't see anyone static stretch after, and we try to practice what we preach, but yeah, after long days of tournaments and play, we don't always get to static stretching right after, especially if we have to run somewhere quick after or just want to get home. But, just taking that time to even like, hopefully you shower after you play pickleball and you're just in the shower, get some arm stretches in there, something, well, get it in at some point. Drink
You
your
know,
electrolytes.
if Dawson doesn't have time to stretch before he goes to bed, you think this dude has time to shower?
No,
I
I
hope.
I definitely shower. I definitely
Okay.
shower no
Okay,
matter how
God.
late it is.
Good.
And I will admit that has been me in the shower doing that before.
Yes.
Good.
And so it is funny.
Better
But
than no
no, like
stretching.
I'm talking about like stretch. Like I have like a whole like 30-minute routine, the Theragun, hopping in the Venom,
Mm,
maybe some ice. Like I get nitty and gritty with my recovery. I'm very
you
big on.
should post about that.
As you should.
I
Mhm.
know, I know. I should. I got to get on that. And so I've been too busy reviewing everything. Paddles, balls, all that mumbo jumbo. I got to do the home stuff as well. So, all right. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to stop your roll here. I'd love to hear about some of the things that the survey was on. And so,
Okay, yeah, sure. So, as I said before, we had 1,011 responses. Um, the question was about, the survey had about 20 questions, ranging from demographics to length of time played, past sport history too, if they had previous injuries before playing pickleball, why they play, their playing patterns too, if they're playing like every single day or if they're just playing like once a month, if they stretch before and after, their level of expertise, if they have taken lessons before, making sure like if you have lessons, that's kind of like thinking like, oh, they'll have like proper form. Um, and then the impact that the sport has had on these people's lives. So, um, let's see here. I have the statistics right here. So, um, 73% of people said that pickleball has improved their physical health, and then 82% of people said that it's improved their mental health. So I thought that was really interesting to see. Um, and then we hypothesized that the rest of the people that said that their physical health did not improve was because of they got injured while they were playing pickleball. 89% of people said that they think pickleball is becoming a popular sport because it's fun. A lot of people also said that it improves social connection, it's easy to learn, it increases physical activity, and it's affordable. And let's see here. About the stretching, do you warm up before you start playing pickleball? We had 84 say yes, but then you go into look, if yes, what type of warm up? 73% said dinking. Yeah, so and there was like a select all. So we had 43% said static before, and then only 30% was dynamic stretching before. So the next semester we're gonna go and cross-analyze how many people that did dynamic stretching before got injured. And then let's see, why did you start playing pickleball? 83% said exercise and stay active. And then there was also a select all, so 75% said socialize with a friendly community. And we noticed that a lot of players that had a previous injury or disability re-injured their injury when they played pickleball. So that was also another factor. So if you're at a greater risk if you have a previous injury to get re-injured, and then elderly too are at a greater risk. Fun fact about the survey, we hit 56. I'm sorry, not 56, 46 out of 50 states, which I thought was cool. We only missed a few. And yeah, that's
no,
that's a lot of
that's
what we're
really
doing so
cool.
far.
That's awesome. Just so viewers can know where to see this online, do you have a name or site link for this?
Not for the specific research, but if you follow C Gallagher _pickleball on Instagram, I'll be posting links or even like screenshots of the final product of the research that I do.
I love it. I love it. And Jess, while we're at it, do you have a page, whether it's Instagram or whatever, that people can follow to keep up with you?
Yes, in fact, I do. It is that pickleball girl 1 on Instagram and that pickleball girl on TikTok. Unfortunately, somebody took my OG name when I made my account on Instagram, but yes, those are my
I
accounts.
love it. I
And if you
love
don't have Instagram, you could also follow me on Crystal Gallagher Pickleball on Facebook.
it. Ooh, there we go. Covering all the bases. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
She's
All
thorough.
right. Well, hey, no, that was really cool and informative. We appreciate it for sure, Crystal. And yeah, it just emphasizes how important it is to stretch and not just be quote unquote thinking as you're stretching.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's pretty funny,
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. All right. I know this is a question that I actually am genuinely curious about because I'm seeing it change and evolve right now. But talk to me a little on the Connecticut pickleball scene. What's changing? What's new? What's going on?
In Connecticut, I'd like to say we have a wide variety of levels, ranging from beginners up to even some 5-0s that I've met. I think the majority of the pickleball population probably falls within the 3-0 to 4-0 range. But speaking on the Connecticut pickleball scene, I would love to highlight the open play, which is usually outdoors, which is mostly beginners up to the 4-0 levels, because that's kind of where I found my passion for pickleball. And yeah, I think that the community at these courts, at these open play events, is one of the most welcoming pickleball communities you will ever find. I know that people come in strangers and they will leave with a handful or two of new pickleball friends and a passion for the game that just cannot be stopped. Once that pickle bug bites, it bites hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the open play communities in Connecticut for sure. I think they satisfy that social aspect that we as human beings, as social creatures, need. You're maybe 7 feet away from your opponent at the kitchen line. So there's far more talking going on than in tennis and in some other sports where you're farther away from your opponent. It's fun, and pickleball is challenging. I'm sure a lot of us know that it is one of the easiest sports to learn, but also one of the hardest to master. So there's always something more you can be doing to improving your game, or to improve your game, excuse me. And I think that starting at these open play sessions, like that's the way to go, and that's where a lot of people's love for pickleball in Connecticut is born.
I love that. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Jess. Yeah, so I'm gonna dive in further out of my own curiosity. I'm seeing new facilities opening up. I don't know how much you guys know about that, but if you wanna spill the tea there and give us the information on some of these new facilities, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually really glad that you brought that up because I had some notes on that as well. There are new courts popping up. I'm not even kidding. I hear about new courts maybe every couple weeks to every couple months, indoor and outdoor. But to name a few, Shoreline Pickleball just opened up in Milford. It is a beautiful facility. I think there's, Crystal, correct me if I'm wrong, 5 indoor courts that are sectioned off by fencing. And there's a nice little lounge area in that as well. And 2 of our friends are the pickleball pros there, Angelo and Etoile Rossetti of the Rossetti Brothers Pickleball. So if you have the chance to test out those courts, I highly recommend. They do college nights on Friday. They do a dinker drive ladder that is 4-5 plus on Wednesdays, and a ton of other clinics and events that are definitely worth looking into. And then this one, I'm sure Crystal can talk to you about as well. Camp Pickleball. I think it's opening up in Hartford, Crystal. Is that right?
I think the Plainville area.
Oh, Plainville. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Camp Pickleball is looking to be another fantastic facility with a lot of indoor and I believe outdoor courts. And again, this is run by some of our very good friends and fellow coaches, the Jennings. So that's another one to look for in the near future.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, by all means, dive into it. I'm real curious with a name like Camp Pickleball. That's an interesting name. It makes me think it's like an actual like summer camp.
Yeah, they
Oh,
started off doing the summer camps. That's where they got well, I think that's where they got their name from.
Oh, wow.
Last summer, they had Jess and I help be coaches because we're both certified to help teach pickleball. So we did a camp. I don't know how many kids there were, maybe like 20, like
I want to say
20.
like 20 to 25, maybe. We had a
Yeah.
good amount of kids, but it's great to see that younger population getting into pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all for it. And so as you guys know, my friend Ari is like leading the charge over here in Mass on junior pickleball and junior academy stuff. And I see them all the time now. And I used to go to pickleball and be the youngest one by 25, 30 years. So,
Hmm.
times are changing. It's great. No, that's great. And so, yeah, no, that's good. I will admit, I have been going to Connecticut for pickle now for about 3.5 years. And the fact that they're getting dedicated indoor facilities and outdoor on top of what they have already is pretty special.
Yeah,
So,
Wallingford has brand new courts. They have, I think, 8, and then Stamford Mall just opened with pickleball courts in there. And then you can even go into like North Haven Health and Racket or the Rocky Hill Tennis Center. Those are a little cheaper options too for the indoors for the winter.
Or Old
But
Saybrook.
yeah, Old Saybrook, yeah.
It's one of my favorites. They do open play over the weekend, 3 hours for $15. Really good
wow,
deal there.
that's incredible.
It
Yeah,
really is.
basically like every town. You got Norwalk has courts, Meriden has courts. We've played everywhere. Southington, New Canaan coming up this coming weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I love it. And you guys have you have 2 state games too. It's pretty good. Like, so, and you had regionals last year.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was
I
exciting.
I have no idea if you'll have it this year or not. They haven't posted it yet. So,
Are you talking
or
about the
this,
Atlantic Diamond Regional?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And so I
that
hope
one
they
was
do again.
interesting.
I had a ton of fun at it. I'm hoping it gets moved to one of these newer facilities.
Yeah,
But
I second that.
Hmm.
yeah,
Hill
Same.
House
it
is
was
great,
interesting
but
in
not
there.
for pickleball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That track surface is tough.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, even if they have to have it in there again, like just having it in New England and like not forcing people to fly to Florida to play a regional to even like attempt to do the nationals process is nice. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, I didn't personally choose to go to nationals. I had the ability to from regionals result wise. But you know, just even playing that, it's definitely it's cool to see how you stack up regionally and your age range and all that. And so, yeah. All right, well, that was awesome, ladies. I want to dive into real quick here. I know that you guys have upcoming MLP. Um, I know that you have upcoming tournaments together as well. Walk us through. This is something I've been asking myself and other people. What are 3 goals you have for 2024? They can be pickle or non-pickle related. They don't have to just all be pickle. I always have to put that disclaimer out there. With that being said, we want to hear the pickle ones. But no, walk us through that and then walk us through, what your first, couple months of events. I know with the amateur calendars, it's tough to plan the year out. But what's the next few months look like for you guys?
Crystal, you want to go first or should I?
Sure, I can go. So for the first few months, I think we have New Canaan coming up this weekend. Um, that'll be fun. We're both playing women's and mixed doubles, and I think Jess might be doing singles too.
I am.
Yeah, it's
Me
exciting.
that is prep for the MILP.
Triple crown
True.
attempt over there. Ooh.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then we have the minor league pickleball coming up in January 14th and the 20th, I believe we're doing. One's in Mass, one's in Connecticut. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. A
Okay.
little sad Dawson won't be on
I
our team for that
know.
second one.
Let me know how that goes because I'm intrigued to see how other like areas do it. If they do it the
Oh, us
same or
too.
if they do it a little different. And so I know that's a tough weekend for me as well. And so I'm sad though.
Oh,
I'm
no
gonna miss
worries.
you guys. So
Mm.
We'll be
all
sure to
right.
keep you
That's pretty good
updated.
schedule though. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Are you guys doing regionals if it happens again at the same time, like end of March?
I would like to, I think. It'd be nice to play with Crystal at the last Atlantic Diamond Regional. I was with another partner who I believe is back in Serbia now. She's great. Crystal and I have been working together for almost a year now, so it'll be nice to put that to use.
There we go.
Yeah, I would love to do that. We're also planning on going to the US Open, hopefully in Naples, Florida. That's in April. But
Hoping to pull through in that lottery.
yeah, it's a lottery, so we're not sure if we'll get it.
Yeah, I
We'll
have
see.
no idea how that works just because I've never tried to do the US Open myself, but that sounds incredible. So I hope you guys get in. Be fun. Get to
Oh,
represent
definitely.
Connecticut.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. I know a couple people from Mass that have done it. They've only ever done it for age though, or for whatever, like pro qualies. But it looks like a great event. Honestly, I think it looks a little more exciting than nationals, at least from the amateur standpoint. And so, and then from what I've been hearing in the grapevine, I think there will be a little more buzz around it on the pro side this coming year too, because they might allow them back in all the other pros that they didn't have last year. So that actually could be good watching and playing experience. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I
So
didn't hear about that.
yeah, there's all sorts of the pro scene right now doesn't have any idea what it's doing. They gotta punch this merger in and then do all that. But for now, yeah. Well, I'm sure probably January, February, because it's April. January, February, that you'll hear chatter about that online. But yeah, I was chatting with a buddy of mine in one of the organizations. I was chatting about that a bit. All right, that's cool. And so I love that your guys' schedules are the same too. It's great. And so, yeah. No, I am actually really excited to play with you guys again for MLP, and all of that. And potentially now this MLP Nationals thing. I had no idea that that was like a thing. Like,
And
so
when is it? Do we know?
so apparently it was this whatever, it was like the first 2 weeks of December. And so,
Oh,
because I literally, whatever, I was sitting at, whatever, at my desk and like, I got this YouTube thing. It was like, MLP Nationals or MILP Nationals is on now. And I was like, what?
whoa.
And sure enough, I turn it on and I see one of the teams that we play. And
That's crazy.
So
I'm
cool.
like,
Let's do
what in
it.
the world? Like, and so I saw 16s and 18s teams that I played. I was like, are you kidding me? And so I was like, we could be there right now. And so I
Well,
don't think we
hopefully we
would have
will
had
be in the
Chris
future.
though. We wouldn't have had Chris though, so it might have gotten tricky,
Uh,
like trying to sub someone in there. But
Well, we
yeah,
got Noah now. He'll do it.
I know,
yeah.
but I don't know if they would have let us in then was all.
Oh,
And
right,
so that's what
right.
I meant by that. No, Noah would be we can do it with Noah though. If if we can make the dates game. So that looks fun. All right. Well, you guys want to dive into some Q&A here?
Sure.
All right.
Lay it on us.
It's coming.
What
Get
do the
ready.
people want to
It's coming
know?
hot. Hot and spicy. All
I see.
right.
Oh boy.
This is from the fans. Real quick, I usually post an Instagram story, usually probably 24 hours before. Usually we'll do the pods and give the people the chance to ask some questions, and we'll do it from there. And don't worry, people, we don't give your names away. It's okay. You can ask them
Oh, I wanted to
anonymously
hear who was
behind the
asking the
keyboard.
question.
And so, all right. You guys can kind of determine who wants to take what, or you can both take them. I don't really care in terms of who answers. When did you realize pickleball was for you?
Probably the first time I picked up a paddle. It was so much fun. I didn't realize at the time that I would end up playing in tournaments almost every month, but I went from being a tennis snob, as they call it, to a picklehead, and I don't think I'm ever going back.
Yeah, I haven't picked
actually
up a
love
tennis
that.
racket.
I don't even like, I haven't touched my tennis racket in so long. I don't even like know where it is.
Oh no.
I'm going to be straight up. Like, I don't know where it is. Like, I've maybe hit with like my brother's one once and was like, this is all right, but it's not pickle.
Yeah, and pickle's just
So
so convenient. Like when you want to play tennis, it's
yeah,
harder to find people to play with, but pickleball like is happening almost all the time, almost anywhere.
I was
It's
about to
easy and
say
anybody can learn.
I can pull up to someone's driveway and we can play.
Yep.
Like, you're not really doing that with tennis. Like, so yeah, I think you hit the head on the nail. For me, it was COVID time because the first few times I played pickle, I was a senior in college and I had a commitment to finish out college tennis. I was into it though. Like I would take my teammates after practice sometimes and we would play a little. And like they're like, yeah, like you're into this. I was like, yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. And so yeah, I mean, I'm like Jess now. I'm in tournaments. I have this, and so it's like, yeah. So I like how they said it was for you. That's funny. All right, popping on to the next one. What is a day in the life scope of you getting ready for a game? I'm assuming they're talking pickle. And let's assume a tournament. Let's assume a
Are you
tournament.
sure? They might be talking about board games here.
I
Yeah.
mean, hey, I don't know.
Competitive
Jess,
chess.
you seem like you could be a competitive like checkers or chess player for all I know.
You know, I wish I could say yes. I don't have much experience with chess, but I do come from a very competitive family.
Oh, fun.
Well, I guess I can go first unless Crystal wants to.
You got it.
Getting ready for, I'm going to say getting ready for a tournament because I have one tomorrow. So I'll kind of take you through that process, I guess. I try to post about Jigsaw because I am an ambassador again. So I'll start hydrating before tournament day because I want to make sure I wake up feeling hydrated and energized. And then I kind of stick to a routine usually. Um, I'll try to eat a nice big breakfast, which is usually a bacon, egg, and cheese, eggs and toast, something of that sort. And the day before a tournament too, I also forgot to say, I'll usually take as a rest day. So today I haven't done anything physical. But back to tournament days, yeah, I'll start with a big breakfast. I will pack my bag with snacks, Gatorade body armor, my Jigsaw Health. Um, and yeah, I'll pack my cooler and I'll head to the game and I'll get some dynamic stretching in before I start.
I love it.
Yeah, similar with me. Same thing. rest before, drink our electrolytes before, and water. I fill up like a giant jug for the day with ice and water, and then I'll have another separate water bottle for the Jigsaw Health electrolytes. And I'll eat, yeah, I'll rest before, and then the morning of, I'll usually eat like a butter or cream cheese bagel. Like, I don't know. I tried the bacon, egg, and cheese. It's like too much on my stomach for before. So then I'll just have like a protein shake before, and then I'll pack my snacks. I usually eat like Cliff Bars. You're supposed to like replenish like between every game. So like I'll try to eat like a few bites of a Cliff Bar in between a game if we don't have a bye. And then if we have a bye, then I'll eat like a Nature Valley bar or something like that.
No, I love it.
I think
I
this is
love
where
it.
we differ just a little bit. I feel like I can't be eating too much in between games or I get cramps and I can't move as fast.
Goodness.
Yeah, I need
No,
to keep
Crystals
snacking.
is similar to mine for sure. Crystals is similar to mine. I don't know about all that eating though. Like I'll do a little eating, but not a ton. But like I'm like Crystal, I got the bag. I've got the clothing bag. You guys loved that when I had it last time I was with you guys. I remember
Yep.
that. Like I come ready for war, baby. Like I have
Yes, you
like
do.
at least two of everything with me. And so, but yeah, no,
Gotta be
it's a
prepared.
pretty similar. I think for just about any, at least non like main draw pro event, you're usually supplying your own liquids and foods and all of that. So it's a pretty similar routine, I think, for most of us. And so,
Hmm.
but
How do
yeah,
you guys feel about how do you guys feel about caffeine on game day?
like coffee.
Yeah. Coffee, energy drinks.
I mean, energy drinks, I'll do it for the electrolytes. Like I have whatever, basically a version of your guys' jigsaw stuff that I'll do for the electrolytes. Honestly, I only ever do that for tournaments or really long training days, like 3+ hour training days. Otherwise, I usually just rock a ton of water. And so, I mean, if it works for you, go for it, you know.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee person,
Yeah.
so I don't drink coffee, but if it's like we have to get up really early, like 8 a.m. or something for a tournament, then I'll get Dunkin' Refresher.
I've noticed, real quick on that, I've noticed tournaments are veering away from the 8 a.m. start. It's usually a 9 or a 10 now, I've noticed.
That's nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are traveling far.
Yeah, my only thing I don't like is I'm not into the 4 p.m. starts, especially on Sunday.
Yeah,
Like,
that's too late.
like the 4 p.m. starts in Connecticut on a Sunday, it's not great. Like,
Yeah.
it's not great for us not in Connecticut. So, but I'm okay with the 1 p.m. The 1 p.m. isn't bad. It makes lunchtime a little funky, but it's not bad. Like, so all right, let's dive in here. We got a couple more here, ladies. They really were itching on the tennis part here. Is pickleball harder than tennis? I will answer that quick and saying I think they're both hard in unique ways. In terms of like taxing on the body, I think, an hour as a singles tennis is probably the equivalent of 2 hours of doubles pickleball. I will say that singles pickleball is sneaky taxing because it's a lot more like quick jolts and you have to pass people through these really tight windows. Like in tennis, you have more time to kind of react. But I mean, they're both court sport fitness in the end of the day. Like they're both, if you're doing it properly, you're gonna sweat. You're gonna move. You're gonna do all that. I don't think one is necessarily harder than the other. I will say in terms of like skill, I think pickleball it's a lot easier to get someone started. Give
Mhm.
me 10 minutes with someone as long as, whatever, like crazy disabilities and all of that aside, and I can have them hitting the ball over the net. Tennis, that might take an hour, it might take a couple lessons, but once you develop that kind of general rackets background, usually you can do that in just about any racket sport. So that's my answer there for that. If you guys want to touch that one, feel free.
Yeah,
I would
I
agree
agree
with
with
you.
that.
Yeah. I feel like that's a very common former tennis and pickleball player answer right there that I gave. But I mean, I feel like it's also pretty on the money, having taught
Yeah.
and played both for a fair amount of time now. All right, we'll move on. What level PB players are y'all? I think we all answered that. But we're in that kind of 4.5 to like 4.75 range, I'd say. We're all pushing for 5.0 next year, baby.
Yes, we are. I
Yeah,
do
we
have a
are.
bone to pick though.
Duper 20,
Here in
baby.
Connecticut. Yeah.
Duper
Here in
20.
Connecticut, we don't use duper. We don't use
Yeah,
duper
what
in
is that?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. We gotta chat real quick on that. Connecticut, you need to start using duper, but you gotta use it for all the tournaments. I'm not into this thing where only some tournaments use it and others don't. Either all or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
because otherwise, then people's dupers are very like askew, and like it just like that's what's happened in Mass for a while now, is like certain places I'm not going to name will have duper and then others won't. And I've played some great tournaments that are not on duper, like good results and bad results, and it was a well done tournament. They just there's all sorts of crap going on with them, like a lawsuit, legal rights, and so whenever they
Yeah.
figure that out, I agree. We gotta duper universally for all the tournaments. I would be a fan of.
Oh yeah.
So
I second that. It's strange because we use pickleball brackets. So our duper ratings are not necessarily accurate. So when we go to play in tournaments in Massachusetts, for example, our rating isn't the same. But yeah, it would be nice to have one universal rating system.
yeah, I we still need one. I duper's close, but it's not there yet. Like, and so
Oh, you know
yeah,
what else? I don't like when tournaments use duper, but you have to put the scores in yourself
yeah.
because
That's
people
I'm not into
they'll
that.
decline it.
I'm
They
not
have to
into.
approve.
I don't think the ability to self-enter should even exist. I think it should just be the
Yeah.
tournament director enters or duper itself enters, and that's it. Any form of self-entering, I don't take that as legitimate because anything can happen. That's no bueno. It's funny, I've had messages with someone that from Connecticut about this and said those exact words. And I was like, dude, like, I don't disagree with you, but I'm not accepting this because I have to accept the whole tournament then. Like, if everyone from the tournament is going to send me it, fine. But if only your one result is what I accept, it looks really strange on Duper.
Mhm.
It looks like I played one match in a tournament and then like fell off the face of the earth. And so like it's an all or a nothing for me morally. And so, but yeah, that is a whole nother mess of its own right there. And so, well, that was the nice thing about the old one, the pickleball brackets one that you could like check. I just don't think it changed all that often was the issue. Like,
I think they update it on the first of every month or
yeah,
something
but
like
I
that.
don't the number like wouldn't move that much. Like I remember winning like 2 or 3 tournaments in a row and my number was exactly the same. And I was
Oh,
like,
that's
what?
frustrating.
Yeah. Or whatever, like second place, first place, second place, like 2 or 3 in a row, and the number was the same. Whereas on Duper, like the number is gonna up down like all over the place, like every match. And so, which is a blessing and a curse. I mean, I still think in the end of the day, it's just a number. I wouldn't swear by it. Like go out and go play. Anything can happen. So but yeah, all right. Oh my goodness. Do you like gender or mixed better? Crystal, you're up first. Go.
Okay. I absolutely love Jess, but I would say I like playing mixed more just because you get that like I love you, Jess. I love you, love you, love
I'm
you.
kidding.
I
I'm
started
not
playing
offended.
mixed. I've always liked playing competitively against guys. And when I first started playing, like, women's doubles wasn't really that competitive, and really only mixed was competitive. So I've just played a lot more like mixed games that I have with women's. And now that like I found Jess, we're super solid, and like, we medal a lot together. But I just feel like the competition, at least in Connecticut, for women our age, is not like at the same level. So hopefully we can branch out and play at other places. But yeah, that's what I would say.
You guys need to come here for women's.
I know.
We have, they're not, you're gonna still be the youngest team probably, but like they're legit. And so I'll pop on this next. I'm in the same boat. I started only playing mixed for a long time before I even touched gender. So I always like by default, that's my favorite one. It's
Yeah.
not my favorite to watch though, is the thing. Like I prefer watching
Really?
gender because I just think it's more interesting. Like, but it is a lot of fun when you're playing good mixed. Like everything's
Mhm.
clicking, you're on the same page as your partner. Is not a lot of fun when mixed it goes the wrong way. And in that way it kind of reminds me of singles tennis in a way. Kind of. Kind of. It's similar in that regard, but like I think in mixed, and like this is something I actually talked about previously, is like I think regardless of the role you have in mixed, how well you play it affects the other person a lot. And so like whereas in gender, sometimes like I feel like I can get away with just like dinking a few balls and returning the ball, like and serving the ball. And it's like it's something, but it's not a whole lot. And I also like, at least for me, like I'm fortunate enough in that I have 20 plus guys I can go play with on a given day, you know. Whereas like for mixed, I kind of have ladies, but like it's hit and miss now, entering kind of the higher echelon. And so it's like I don't play as much mixed as I like to these days, but when I do, it's usually against two guys, and so I find the challenge a lot of fun. Like so, but yeah. Jess.
I have to hop on the bandwagon here and say that mixed
Oh,
is
come
also
on.
my favorite. No, I was always going to say mixed from the
Yeah.
beginning, and I do love playing with Crystal. But since day one, I was playing mixed, more so than the gender or singles. So that's kind of where my love for the game grew. And there's just something about trying to set up your partner. There's the strategy there you got to think about, and something very exciting about going into a hands battle with a guy straight in front of you and winning. When you win those points, it's
Yeah.
super
Oh yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
like
mixed has
seeing
always
it
been
when
my
the
favorite.
women wins too. Like I like seeing the woman like I'm with win the hand battle. I'm like, yo, let's go. Like he don't mean shit, yo. Like, let's go. Oh,
Yeah, it's just a
that's
lot of
great.
fun. And then with women's, I do love women's as well. I wasn't a fan of women's, to be honest, until I started playing with Crystal because we're good friends on and off the court, and we just have that good on court chemistry. And it's nice because we are very competitive as a team. And I just couldn't find a partner that I worked well with until Crystal. So up until I found her, I didn't really enjoy women's.
Yeah, it's honestly it's a similar gender boat for me. That was me until I found Chris. And I have to kind of search again now because he's welcoming a baby boy any day now. So um yeah. So but no, I feel like I knew the answers to that already, but just from knowing you guys so well. But I mean, yeah, that was a good question, whoever that was.
Yeah.
All right.
Who asked that?
Got two or three more. All right. Crystal, the world wants to know, are you single?
I am not single.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. Been
All
been
right,
in a relationship.
Jess, they want to know what your relationship status is as well.
Oh, I am in a relationship. I
Okay.
want to know who's asking these
With me.
questions.
I'm just kidding.
Plot twist.
Oh my God. I don't know, but the question came once or twice for both of you. That's all I'm gonna say there.
Oh boy.
It's interesting. All right. And then the last one is, what is the biggest thing, what is the number one thing to grow in pickleball in 2024? We're gonna assume that's an opinion. Like, so what do we think will be like the biggest growth to pickleball in 2024?
I feel like college pickleball is going to become more popular. I would love to see more college pickleball. I know there's some Connecticut teams now, like UConn, that have to travel to Florida just to play college pickleball, and I'd love for it to become more popular up here as well.
Yeah, I was also thinking college or I was thinking junior pickleball but I'm like, I don't know if it'll be in 2024 though, but definitely the collegiate pickleball. We have friends at UConn and I started a club at University of Hartford too, and we're trying to play at the collegiate level hopefully soon. So yeah.
No, that I think those are spot on. I am actually going to take a little bit of a different route here. I think that this reload thing is going to be the biggest change in 2024, being able to replace the face of our paddles instead of having to change out the entire paddle. I think that's going to be
Wow.
huge. Yeah, so here, I'll explain it quick for those that aren't really aware of it. But Reload Pickleball is basically creating what you do in ping pong now for pickleball. So in ping pong, you have like, like a base is what I'm going to call it. It's basically the wood, like the outline of the paddle with like the core and then the handle. And you buy that, and then you buy like different faces that you can put on it. And so, like, let's say whatever, like, for example, I use like a roughness grit on the V7 Prism that I play right now by choice. If I wanted like a really spinny, rough paddle, like I could put like a fresh sheet of basically what would feel like mini sandpaper on there. Obviously, still has to fall within USA specs, like assuming it's a legal face and all that. But the idea is that instead of the paddle just dying and you have to buy a new paddle, what do we go through them every like 6, 8, 10 months? Like, you can then have one paddle for like 3 to 5 years and you just replace the face a bunch. So,
That would be
or whatever
fantastic.
until the
Yeah.
handle snaps or something. So,
Yeah, that's like tennis where you could just replace the
yeah, it's like
strings.
strings, kind
Mhm.
of. Yeah. I did ping pong because they also are like gluing the face
Yeah.
on and all that. But it is similar with tennis in the sense that like you're only buying a racket once every 5 to like 7 years as opposed to every year. And so, yeah. All right. Well, hey, this was a ton of fun. I'm happy to do it again. I had fun with it, ladies. And
Okay.
so,
Thanks for having us.
all
Yeah, thank you
right.
so much. This has been great.
We'll see ya.